everybody, it's Tina. Welcome to my video today. We are going to make 4 different cards today. They're going to be the same, but they're going to be different. I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to create some quick cards just using designer paper. So I'm going to give it a few minutes and let everybody jump on here and let Facebook notify you guys that I am live. Give it a few minutes. There we go. Hold on one second. I just want to get everything set up here. There we go. Say hi when you jump on here. Let me know if there is... Hey, Linda. Welcome. I think the lighting's pretty good. We have sunshine here for the first time in like 1,000 years. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Elizabeth. Yeah, you guys are jumping on. Hopefully that will stop bouncing in just a minute, you guys. So we have some sunshine here, so the lighting may be a little funky because I have actual light coming through my window. Imagine that. So, like, honestly, it's been a while and it's clouding up. It's not going to last long, but I am enjoying the blue sky. It's still pretty cold here, you guys. I am feeling pretty over the cold and the rain, but that's neither here nor there, right? So today, what I wanted to show you guys is I have all of this painted season designer paper. And I have a lot of it, and I just ordered 3 more packs of it. I put in my card class order, and I got 3 more packs of it because I have something fun coming up on Monday, and I'm going to need a lot of this paper. So I'll share that with you guys on Monday. But what I wanted to do is I was thinking, I had all of these scraps, so I just, especially when it's a paper like this that's limited, so this isn't paper I can just order and get what I need of. When I have paper that's like that, what I do is I store my designer paper in these 12 by 12 clear plastic bags, and what I do is I just put the scraps kind of right here at the front, right? So because I have something special coming up that I need a lot of this paper, I don't want to just continue to cut into my paper, and I want to try to utilize, if I'm doing something and I want to do something else with it, I want to try to utilize all these scraps. So I had all these scraps sitting out, and I thought, let's try to make some cards just using the designer paper and not having to cut into more of the paper, because there's a really fun project coming up on Monday where I need a lot of this paper. So I'm trying to save as much of it as I can. So I wanted to show you guys that. First, that's how I store this paper. And then it's how I store all of my designer paper. Okay, so I love being able to do that because it keeps it all together. And then these scraps are right on top. So let's dive in. I'm going to use this stamp set, but just for the sentiment. You could use any sentiment you want. So all you need is designer paper. You need a few different designs, right? And then you just need a stamp set that has a sentiment. So really, like, very minimal supplies to be able to do what we're going to do, okay? So of course, you guys, I'm doing card fronts with my darker cardstock, and then I will do my card bases in the white, in the Whisper White. And that is so that I can write inside the card on a white surface. I just want to make sure these are cut properly. Yeah, they are. And so we'll just fold these. I have 3, and then I'll have to cut some more. I need to cut up some Whisper White cardstock. I always have a little chunk of Whisper White cardstock, and you can see my stash is getting kind of low, but this is what I grab when I need to stamp something or die cut something with Whisper White. I just take a couple packs of Whisper White cardstock and I cut it at 4 1/4, and then I cut it in half, and then I cut it in half again. And so I need to do that, and then I always have a few on hand that are cut like this for card bases. And the reason that this is my favorite way to fold a card, to have a card, you know, you can fold it like this, so it opens like this, or you can have it open like this, or if you have a 5 1/2, you cut it 5 1/2, the card will open like this. And one, I do love this way to have a card, but the other reason I always have cards that are like this is because a little behind the scenes trick is that the cards, when you fold your card like this, it stands up easier and you can photograph it easier, and it also lays flat easier. So there's a little trick for you guys. Okay, so I'm going to do 4. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh good, I have one more of these. Make sure it's the right size. And this one was not. Okay, so I want to have all of these done because this is going to go so quick. I'm going to be able to attach these really easy. I purchased mine on eBay, but I get them in bulk. They're very expensive because I get them, they're sold in bulk. So like I get 300 at a time. If anybody's interested, I could probably put together some for sale that are a little bit cheaper, like through my website, through Facebook here, if there's a big enough interest. I do it for my team. So anybody who's joined Stampin' Up! With me, a lot of times I will get clear bags, especially in the 12 by 12, and I get them a little bit cheaper to them because it's so hard to get the 12 by 12 clear bags. So if there is an interest, let me know. I can link where I get them from, but they're really expensive. They're like 60 bucks sometimes or more for a set where I get them. So anyways, you guys let me know. I've thought about it a few times, being able to offer the 12 by 12 bags just on my website where you could get them. And if you're international, if you're not in the US, it's probably even more expensive. So I'm just, yes, you can close them. I snip off the top. So I cut the top off, but it's a resealable. What is that? Like, what? How am I talking? It's a reusable flap. Wow, it's Friday, right, you guys? So what I've done is I have a piece of early espresso, and I'm going to use that Painted Harvest. So that's why I'm using the early espresso, and then the Poppy Parade. So I have here my early espresso piece of cardstock. And then what I've done is I've picked 3 designs, and I've cut these at 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. And what we're going to do is we're just going to lay these down and put them on here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip these over, and I'm going to get some adhesive here. Maybe that one's out. So any designer paper you have would work. You don't have to have this specific paper. You just want to have something that where you can pull 3 designs from the paper. Okay. So now when we flip these back over, we're going to have our designs that we want. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm just going to start here on the edge. I'm going to use my mat, and I'm not, do you see how I just dropped that and I didn't press it down? I'm not pressing anything down because it's a little bit hard to line these strips up exactly the way you want them. And if you drop them like that, you can still move them around a little bit, see? And really, you don't have to be a perfectionist. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? I always say, this is homemade. It's not Hallmark. So it doesn't need to be perfect. But you guys know, like when you're making a card, you know, you have your preferences of the way you want it to look. So, and I can tell that my middle one needs to be moved over. So what I can do, I just knocked that one. I'm going to do the 2 ends, and then I can do this one right in the middle. It'll be a little easier. But really, I mean, this card is so simple, spending a few minutes lining this up, and I feel like it's not lined up perfectly. But it's going to be good enough. So you can see the layout there. Let me see. I missed a couple comments. Hey, Marty, that's okay. You're not too late. Pretty close to right when we started. So now what I have is I used my stitched rectangles because I feel like I've been using my stitched circles a ton with this last week. And you guys know that I love using them, but you know, maybe even I was feeling like it was a little much. So I think I'm going to do early espresso for the sentiment. And the sentiment that I'm going to use is "You're So Awesome." I think that will fit. Yeah, that will fit. And mine's a little stained because I did some embossing. I did some white embossing and I used white stays on. And so it has some white on it because I was kind of going crazy with. I think I did this as a swap card. So I'm angling it because of the way I'm sitting. So I'm gonna stamp this. And I also know my other one, I'm gonna go ahead and stamp in early espresso as well, because we're gonna make another one. And it's gonna be basically the same. It is, it's not basically, it is the exact same layout with one little thing different. Okay. So we have our early espresso cardstock, which is cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And that's going to go onto our card base. And literally we're almost done with this card. Okay, we're going to start at the top and attach this. Okay. And I see that just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. Okay, so we have this. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and attach the Poppy Parade and the early espresso. And I do want to pop this up because there's not much to this card. So popping it up is going to give it a little bit of interest. Hey, Carol. You guys make sure to comment and let me know that you're watching. Share this video if you would like. And I have the giveaway this week is last month's paper pumpkin kit. So the February paper pumpkin kit and a Becky Higgins notebook. Okay, so now this sentiment can go right here. And you could put this anywhere. I'm going to show you guys. You could put it right in the middle. You could put it down here. There's lots of different options. Let's go ahead and put it down here. And we'll do the other ones a little different. So the next thing I have is this stitched heart. This stitched heart is was in another die set. And off the top of my head, I don't know which one. I literally love this heart so much. Looks like this. I have this on a piece of magnet sheet right in front of right by my stamp pads because I love it so much. I love using it. So I don't even keep it in its original die set. So I'm just going to put the heart right there. Okay, so now let's do this with a little bit of a different look. So we have all the same pieces, but we're going to turn our early espresso cardstock this way. And these strips are at 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. That's what these strips are at. These strips are at 1 1/2 by 4. Okay, so we'll do the same layout, and what you're going to notice is it doesn't fill up the whole card. There's more early espresso, okay? So that's okay, I'm gonna show you. So all of these pieces are literally just pieces that I didn't have to cut into a new sheet of designer paper, which was my goal, right? Was to not have to cut into more designer paper. So I'm just gonna do the same thing. And because I don't have to make these even, because there's gonna be some space at the end, I'm just lining them up, which is a little bit easier, right? Hi, Daisy, first time viewer. We're going to make 2 more of these too, you guys, so don't go anywhere. We're going to make 2 more of these exact same designs, but different designer paper. Okay, so that looks pretty good, right? So now for a little bit, you know, maybe you want a little bit more, a little added something a little more. Let's take some of this linen thread. I probably need to get more of this. I think this is my last pack. Okay, so then we're going to take our card right here, and this is what I like to do. So I make sure I have some on both ends. So everybody see that? I know it's a little hard to see the linen thread. We're going to wrap it around once, so we bring one side down. This is a shorter end, so I'm not going to wrap that around the back. I'm just bringing it down, and then I'm going to wrap this next one around twice. And then we tuck that first piece over and under. So this way I don't have to tie a knot. It creates a little knot. I know it's hard to see and I can't zoom in because I'm on my phone recording this, but it creates its own little, almost like a knot, so that all you have to do is tie a bow and you don't have that extra bulky knot underneath the bow. So your bow will lie flatter. Okay, so then we'll trim the extra off, and then I just like to space out. If I have, you know, more than once wrapped around, I kind of just space that out. And I'm going to put this closer to the designer paper. That's the other great thing. When you wrap it around, you can move it and then space that out. Okay. Stitched all around. Thank you, Linda. Yes, stitched all around. Okay, so now we have the exact same sentiment. So we're going to pop this up. Remember, I want it popped up because I do want to add a little bit of interest to this card since it's so simple. And these are just the stitched rectangle. So you just get these perfect layers because you're just using one die set. And then this is Poppy Parade. So I cut it out on Poppy Parade and then Whisper White. And I'll have a PDF for you guys up today. So currently, right as soon as I'm done with this live, I've got to go to the school because I'm helping in my daughter's class today. Kayla, who I volunteer in her classroom once a month, but I feel like Kayla, because she is the one that like just she doesn't require a lot. I feel like she gets kind of the short end of the stick. So today I'm in her classroom and hanging out with her and helping out. And then currently I'm trying to get a blog post up about for Memory Keeping Friday. Today's Friday, and I like to share my progress with my project life. And I'm currently working on getting a post up for that. I just have to edit the video and get it out to you guys. And then also I have the PDF for Wednesday's project. And then I also will have a PDF for this project. Okay, so I'll have all of that up. I'll get it up before the end of the day today. And then I'm just trimming off this white edge. And then the card will open like this. Okay, so we have this one that opens up like this. And then we have this one that opens up like this. I love this paper so much. This painted season paper is amazing. And you can get this for free when you place a $50 order. So all you have to do is place an order and then pick your celebration item and pick this paper. So now I thought it would be fun to do these cards in the blue because there's, you know, a set of paper that's this color with the Poppy Parade and the pink, and then there's the other designs that are this blue. So I thought, well, let's do the same cards, but let's do them in this blue. So you do the same thing. It's the same measurements. So it is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 is the early espresso piece. And then these strips are 4 1/4. No, I'm sorry. 5 1/4 by 1 1/4. That's the strips. And we'll do the same thing, but they're going to be a different color. So I really wanted you guys to see how easy you can put together a card when you don't have a lot of supplies. I think sometimes, especially people who are making videos like myself, we have a lot of stuff because we're, you know, making a lot of things to share with you guys. And sometimes when you watch videos, sometimes I can get really overwhelmed. One of my favorite people to watch is Katina Warner. And sometimes I can get very overwhelmed with all of the stuff she has. I love when she uses Lawn Fawn product. It's some of my favorite. I don't have a lot of it. But I love when she uses Lawn Fawn stuff. But you guys, I feel so overwhelmed. And I'm like, oh, I can never make that card because, you know, she's used 7 different Lawn Fawn sets. And, you know, if I place an order for Lawn Fawn, I'm not going to, you know, buy maybe 12 different sets of stuff. So I wanted to show you guys how you can make cards and utilize your supplies, utilize your designer paper. I feel like this one's a little off because I'm talking. Utilize the stuff that you have on hand and realize that you don't have to have a million things. You just have to have the things that you love. So like this paper, I love it. So I could make a lot of cards like this and have a lot of cards on hand. I think I'll go ahead and use Early Espresso. I thought I might use a different color for these blue ones, but I think Early Espresso is going to work. So anyways, that was my goal, was to show you guys how you can make some really awesome cards and use that paper. You know, I used all scraps for what we've done, and it's still fun, right? Okay, so let's trim this. I'm just using some of this fun foam that I made. These, like, this dimensional stuff. I didn't make the fun foam, but I put double-sided adhesive on it, and I use it to pop up my items that are like this. Oops. Did I just run out? Oh no, I keep picking up the one that is out of adhesive. Okay, so we'll put that here. And then we can put this. Did we put it in the, okay, we didn't. So I want to show you guys the way it looks. So we'll put this one in the middle. And then I did the same thing. I used the crumb cake cardstock, and I did a stitched heart. And this stitched heart is from Stitched All Around. That's the die set that it's included in. Okay, which I think is totally worth getting that die set just for that heart, but that's me being a little crazy, right? Okay, so we'll put this here. Just attach it on the top. And then I'm going to show you both of these together so you can see how different the card can be with just some different colors. And you could totally do these, instead of using such a dark color, the Early Espresso, you could use a lighter color. Like I could have used Pool Party to do the thing, or Crumb Cake would have been great. Same thing with this, but I also had Early Espresso and Pool Party cardstock out on my desk because for my project for Monday that you guys will see on Monday. So again, I just wanted to utilize some of the stuff that was on my desk and not, you know, get out more cardstock or get out more paper or cut into it. So I'm just cleaning up these edges on my designer paper here. Okay, so now same thing with this one. So I'm going to do it a little bit opposite here. Get these strips with adhesive. Okay, so this time, or maybe let's do something different. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. Okay, so let's do this. I just thought of a totally different design that we could do. So let's do that with this one. So then there's this. I don't know if it's going to work now. That's okay. We'll just try it, and then we can always adjust. So let me get more linen thread. Okay, and I'm going to get a little bit more. I feel like I couldn't wrap it around as much as I wanted to. Okay, So I'm going to show you guys how I do that, the linen thread again, and maybe move you guys down a little bit. Okay. So I start behind, and I'm going to leave one end longer than the other, okay? So then I have one that's not as long, and we wrap that one down to the end. So now it's like this, okay? And then what we're gonna do is the longer one, we're gonna wrap around several times. I like to do like at least 3, so I have at least 3 full wraps. And with this one I can because I left so much. Okay, now here's where it gets a little tricky, and I gotta switch here because I gotta do it this way. So now we have it wrapped around, right? So now one of these I'm going to wrap, so see, I pinch this together. It's kind of hard to explain, you guys. I hope you're seeing this. So I pinch these together, and then this one I'm gonna put over, it's gonna go over the thread and under. So see how that wraps around? And then I get this right here where it's like it's already in place. And so instead of a knot, goes right. Okay, so then I just tie a bow. So then I pull it so it's somewhat tight. And then I do a loop. And another loop. And then I pull that, just like that. And then I can make the bow, I can fix the loops. Oh, thanks. This is my favorite one. This, I have a Fitbit, and I'm a little obsessed with bands. Not a little, I'm a lot obsessed. Like, I have them in every color, and I have a couple different designs, and this is my favorite one. Okay, so what I was thinking is we could do the design of the card this way. I think I will. So let's stamp this. And we'll do early espresso. And then let's pop this piece up. I don't want to touch the ink. I feel like it's probably not dry. Oh, this piece is perfect. There could be worse obsessions. Yeah, there could be. You're absolutely right. And my daughter got, we got her a Fitbit, a kid's Fitbit for Christmas. And then her birthday is just a few days after Christmas. And then so her birthday, I got her a bunch of different colored bands for her Fitbit. And my husband was like, really? Like, you really need to pass that obsession on to her? And I was like, she likes it. And it's fun. We do, Kayla's the one that got the Fitbit. And we do like challenges, like weekly challenges. And we message back and forth in the Fitbit. And she has a lot of fun with it. Okay, so I just changed my adhesive over because it was out. Okay, so now for this one, I'm gonna put it here. Or should I put it, maybe I'll put it here. I feel like maybe, I don't know if I like this design as much as I like the other ones, but we're just gonna roll with it. Okay, and then we'll need to attach the, oh, I didn't put the blue on. Hello. Hello, McFly. I totally missed that. I thought something was weird. That's better. Okay. I feel like that is way better. Not that the other one wasn't great, but... And then I feel like kind of like this should be over the paper. Like over the design. And I feel like it's crooked. I have a lot of feelings, you guys. Okay. Okay. It's not horrible. Okay. And then let's attach this. Okay. Okay, I'm going to have to trim off a little bit of white. Okay, so let's trim off this white. And I think, you guys know me, I'm always like, I can do one more thing. Even though I shouldn't. I'm trying to be careful not to cut that linen thread. Okay, so here's the cards, and then I have an idea for this one. I feel like that one in particular needs a little something. Okay, so look at those, and then I feel like I'm grabbing something really quick. Okay, I need the other one. This one, I think it's this one. Okay, so there's a couple things we can do. So here they are. Great designs, right? Super simple. Doesn't hardly, take any effort at all. So a couple things that we can do. I rearranged my desk, and so my tools are kind of all crazy. Okay, so we can add a little bit of Wink of Stella to the crumb cake heart, and that is going to give it some glimmer. Okay, I'll get this up close for you guys in just a second. So it'll just allow it to kind of shine. I really like the ones with the linen thread on it. I feel like those are my favorite. Okay. Okay, so there's the Wink of Stella. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of glossy accents. Okay, so you can kind of see, I'm hoping you can kind of see that shimmer. And this glossy accents is it's going to come on here, and it's going to be a little cloudy. But when it dries, it's going to be clear. It's going to make that Wink of Stella, that glitter, it's going to like make it pop. And then it's going to give it like an epoxy look. So it'll look like a little enamel heart. And it goes on cloudy, but when it dries, it's clear. And I'll leave links for this. I get my this kind of stuff on Amazon, like my glossy accents. Okay, and then I got a little tiny bit there. Okay, so you guys know I got to do one more thing. So here it is. So I have these Nuvo dots, and I have brown. I have this dark brown, but then I have this gold, and I feel like gold would look really pretty with these. Especially this one. I feel like because the design is different than these other ones, I feel like it just needs a little something. Okay, so I'm going to use this pale gold. And this is going to look like enamel dots. So when it dries, it'll just look like little tiny enamel dots. Okay, so it'll look like little gold pearls actually, because I made those pretty. I didn't make them as flat, so it'll look like little gold pearls. So let's see. I got a little close to that. Stitched rectangle. And this is not something you have to put on here. Like, this is totally really optional. Okay, so these need to dry. So I need to set these aside, and that'll be good because when I do by the time I'm ready to do the PDF, everything will be dry. So then I have these two, and I'm wondering if I should try like the gold. So this is pale gold. This is Nuvo Crystal Drops. This is in pale gold, and then this is in bright gold, which I haven't really used. The bright gold. Oh, this is pretty, but I don't think it's as pretty as the pale gold. I feel like the pale gold is a lot prettier with this design. That's okay. I mean, you gotta try, right? You don't know until you try. So I'll do that, but I'm not going to use this pale gold. I think I'll use the dark brown on the next one. So there's the bright gold. So this is Nuvo Drops right here. So this is, it's a, when they dry, they're like enamel dots. So let me see. I had a card. What did I do with that card? I had one that I used, I think on Monday's card. We used, I don't know where that card went. I think on Monday we used the brown ones. So basically what it's going to look like is a enamel dot. And you can make these as, you know, round or as flat or as thick, kind of as you want. And they dry. And then it looks like a little, you know, rhinestone or enamel dot. And they come in all these colors. And I got a little bit obsessed with these over the summer last year. And I bought a whole bunch of them. And you can get them on Amazon. You can get them all kinds of different places. Simon Says Stamps. So lots of different places. I'll link the ones I have. I really like the neutrals, like the pale gold I use a ton. And then like the brown, I try to get colors that sort of match my Stampin' Up product because that's all I have. Like I only have Stampin' Up cardstock. And so I try to get colors that sort of match that. But they end up just looking like this. Like this is an enamel dot. And it's just this like hard plastic little dot. This one happens to have a little shimmer to it. But that's what they end up looking like. So here are our cards. I will totally have a PDF for you guys once this dries and I can take photos and everything. I'll have a supply list and I will link everything that I used in the post so that you guys can access it. And then don't forget we're in March, so this is the very last month for celebrations, especially if you want this designer paper, the Painted Season designer paper. You can get it for free when you place a $50 order. So I'm loving these cards. How simple were these? And they were the colors are really great. And I needed a couple on hand that were kind of generic. Like this sentiment is really generic. It's not like specifically birthday or, you know, specifically anniversary. So I love the way these came out, you guys. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this. I will have a blog post up on my website today for Memory Keeping Friday. I'm sharing my February Project Life pages. And then I have something really fun happening on Monday. And we're live 3 days a week this whole month. So next week I'll be live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. here for you guys. And then I'm back to blogging and getting stuff up on YouTube. So make sure you are following me on my YouTube channel. I will link that as well. You guys know I always get all the links in for you guys, even if it's after the fact. But make sure you're following me there because then I'm having videos that are not what we're doing on our lives on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. So lots of fun stuff for you guys. Leave a comment and share. I'm going to leave the giveaway open for this weekend, like through the weekend. I'll pick somebody on Sunday. So if you're catching the replay, leave a comment. Let me know your name. And I have an entire paper pumpkin kit from February with the stamp set and the Stampin' Spot, along with a Becky Higgins notebook, simple notebook to give away. And I will pick a winner like on Sunday. Okay, so then I can mail it out next week. So I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys next week.